probably not ever going to vote. But anyway, oh, hello, everybody. Great news. As you all know, Bradshaw Live is back after her hiatus. And I bet you've all been wondering what good old Groundhog Sam has been up to during the break. Well, I've got to tell you, I've been keeping very busy. I helped out around the Spar and Bernstein office. I've answered the phone.
Hello, Spar Bernstein. How can I help you?
I've made copies.
The whole folder to do. Not a problem. Okay, it's down. It's good. Whoa! Hey, what's happening? Oh my God! Oh my eyes! This cannot be healthy for me.
And I've even helped with the mail.
Okay. Oh, all that envelope glue. I'm getting woozy.
And today is election day in the United States. So I decided to do a little bit of volunteer work. And I went poll watching.
I mean, I understand I'm a groundhog and we're not allowed to vote in any elections. But that didn't stop me from getting involved. That's right. I went to the polls and I acted as a poll watcher. Yep, I made sure everything was in order. Right this way, everybody. This is where you go to vote. Vote aquí.
Everybody, keep standing in line. Keep it orderly.
Here we have a little sign just in case somebody gets out of line and they're not behaving. You can always call this number and report anyone who's, being rascally. Yeah, it was amazing, and everyone kept giving me stickers, even though, I know I'm not a future voter. That's okay. I still love the democratic process. And someone even gave me an I voted sticker, and it was amazing. And then at the end, I even made 2 new friends who are definitely future voters.
I was very busy during our hiatus.
And I just want to remind everyone, if you are able to vote, go out there and do it. Very important. So now I vote that it is the time we have all been waiting for. It's time for Bradshaw Live, starring host Brad Bernstein with co-host Vanessa Nesquik Contreras. Enjoy!
What is your American dream?
My American dream is to share my culture with you, to learn your culture, and to become one huge ethnic melting pot altogether.
My American dream is for this to be a place where everybody gets along, but everybody can represent who they are proudly and equally. Because we are so proud to be Greek and so proud to be a part of this community that we scream it with the music on the loudest setting so you know we're here. And I hope that one day, everybody could be that proud.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Yep.
There I am! Welcome, everybody! It is Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. And I am with today Vanessa Nesquik Contreras.
Hey, Brad.
How are you, Vanessa?
I'm doing great.
Why are you not in the screen, Vanessa?
I'm doing great.
You're there.
I'll get there eventually. I'm here.
You're somewhere. Oh,
Yeah.
there you are.
There
Vanessa
I am.
Nesquik Contreras. How are you?
Squad up. I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're starting late, Vanessa. Let's get right into it. Let's say hello
To the squad.
Nikki, Forever Blessed, squad up. Elisa Stone, squad up. How are you? Nikisha Jacobs, Simone Garraway, Willie L. Williams, squad up. Jewel Delph, squad up. How are you? And who else we have here? I said Elizabeth Francis already, I believe, right? I'm not going to go through everybody because it's way too long to go through everybody. On YouTube, Elisa Stone, she was almost first on both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
She's double fisting.
very impressive, Elsia. Kings TV says he's first, but he was not. Elsia Stone was first. Anu Chandra, how are you? Shopia Henderson saying hello to everybody. Ugo Koss saying hi. Vanessa, you had a good week? You voted?
Yeah.
Good. Me too. I did that this morning. There was no crowds.
I think earlier is always better.
Yes, early was very good. All right. Vanessa, you're up. Tell them what's going to happen today.
Okay, squad. Okay, so almost there. Yeah, perfect.
Got to go over there.
Yeah. There it is.
Go this way or this way.
I'm slowly.
There we are.
Perfect. That works for me. Okay, squad. So remember to share because we are about to start schmoozing with Brad, and he'll fill us in on the latest headlines, including from economy to immigration, what recent polling has found are important issues to voters in today's midterm elections. And it's Tuesday, squad, so we'll be sipping some tea with Brad on celebrity news, like what Anna Delvey, the Russian-born con artist who defrauded New York socialites and financial institutions out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, is reportedly up to now that she is out of ICE detention for overstaying on her visa.
Did you watch that on Netflix?
I was going to ask you. Yeah, I definitely did.
I did, but I didn't see the whole thing. I watched parts of it.
Perfect.
Parts of it. My daughter watched the whole thing. She binged watched it.
Yeah, it was good.
So
I binged too.
I kept coming in and out because I had to go to work. But then I come back for like 4 episodes later, and she was still watching it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And of course, you can call Spar and Bernstein. The number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, 1-800-529-5465 international. It's 212-227-8933. Not only is it the telephone number to call Spar and Bernstein, it is also the telephone number to call to get on our show and ask your immigration questions.
Yeah.
That's going to happen in about 15 minutes. We do have a few lines open, so if you call, you will definitely get on the show to ask your legal question. And later in the show, we're going to visit the Brooklyn Greek Festival. Jonathan, Yo Elias. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He went to the annual event. Yep, I remember him too. I remember him very well.
Yeah.
Very well.
He'll be back soon.
Yes,
we
he
don't
will.
have to miss him too.
Jonathan Yo Elias. He went to the Greek Orthodox Festival in Brooklyn, sponsored by the Saints Constantine and Helen the Greek Orthodox Cathedral, which is the oldest Greek Orthodox church in all of Brooklyn. So we'll see how he did there at the Brooklyn Greek Festival later in the show. But right now, you ready to start schmoozing? Let's do it. Okay.
Let's get into it.
We're going to schmooze now. That means I get the cards.
Yep.
We're going to schmooze.
We're schmoozing.
Soon we'll be schmoozing.
There we go.
There we go.
Now we're
Whoa!
ready.
That was fast.
We're schmoozing with
Now
Brad.
we're schmoozing with Brad. I'm going to tell you something. We are extraordinarily fast on the buttons today.
Either or.
We are very fast on the buttons. Extra fast. Extra fast. So it's midterm elections.
Yeah.
Nesquik voted. I voted. The big issues for the 22 midterm election. I mean, it's not nothing.
Anything that we weren't already concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, nothing so major, but just who's going to control Congress,
Yeah.
what's going to happen for the next 2 years with immigration, the economy, investigations of Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, no big deal at all
Right.
with this election,
It's not
right?
heavy news.
No news at all. Actually, recent CNN polling said, no shock, the economy is the number one thing on the minds of Americans as they go to vote. There are 36 seats up in the Senate. There are 236 seats up for the House of Representatives. The Senate, if you remember, split 50-50.
Yeah.
And the Democrats only control the House by 4 votes. Historically, in the midterm elections, midterm elections are always the second year of the president. Historically, the party out of power gains seats in the House of Representatives. And of course, we're dealing with inflation, economy, immigration, crime. There's a lot of issues out there.
Yeah, I feel like the conversation of recession has been all that I hear online. So,
well, you know, Bill Clinton was very famous in 1992 when George Bush, the elder Bush,
Senior, yeah.
Senior, remember his famous "Read my lips, no new taxes," and then he raised taxes, and then the economy was not doing well going into that 1992 election, and there was a lot of issues that Bill Clinton, that George Bush was talking about. He just won the Iraq War, and he was talking about a lot of different issues, and Bill Clinton very famously said, I believe it was Bill Clinton said this, "It's the economy, stupid."
Right.
And that was the only thing Bill Clinton talked about, because that's the only thing people cared about.
Yeah.
And still we're looking 30 years later.
Literally 30
it's
years.
still the economy, stupid.
Yeah.
We have very high inflation. People don't feel the economy is doing well. And the voters are going to take it out on the party that they believe is responsible. And right now, the party that the voters think is responsible, unfortunately, at least as far as I'm concerned,
Right.
some people may say, fortunately, some people are Republicans, I'm a Democrat, so unfortunately, they're going to take it out on the Democrats. Crime, by the way, is the number two issue on people's minds behind, according to the Gallup polling.
There's been so many mass shootings.
Yes. People feel
Gun laws.
unsafe. People feel unsafe, especially in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. I'm not sure how people feel, in the suburbs they feel more unsafe. Whether or not that feeling is justified doesn't matter, because people vote on feelings. They don't vote on
Right.
facts. Jinx.
Yeah. I knew where you were going with that.
Yes, they don't vote on facts. They vote on feelings. And people don't feel safe.
Yeah.
So we have a situation right here in New York where Governor Kathy Hochul was expected to cruise to victory.
Yeah.
And the Republican challenger, Lee Zeldin, who is against pro-life, not pro-choice, and has been hammering Kathy Hochul about crime in New York City and crime in the suburbs, and it resonates with a certain group of people.
Yeah.
And it's going to be what was supposed to be a runaway for the Democratic governor.
It's a big group of
Is
people.
going to be a nail biter, and some polls before today, the last few days, even had Zeldin in the lead. Now, 9 months ago, when Roe versus Wade was overturned, we were all talking about that's going to be the number one issue. They're taking women's rights away.
Yeah.
But apparently, economy, crime, even immigration is outpacing abortion in terms of what is prioritized by people in the voting booth. Now, according to CNN poll, 44% of Americans say immigration is extremely important to them. That doesn't necessarily mean that all 44% of those Americans who feel immigration is extremely important to them is pro-immigration.
Right.
Many of them may be
That's true.
anti-immigration, may be restrictionists.
Yep.
So we have a situation where it's very possible, if you believe the polls and you believe what's being read in the newspaper, that at the end of the night tonight, you're going to have a Congress that's Republican, both House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. And what is that going to lead to? Not a lot.
Right. For now, anyway.
It is not going to lead to a lot. This is what you could expect if we have a Republican Congress with a President Joe Biden for the next 2 years. If Republicans get control of the House, expect a lot of investigations into Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the son. They've been talking about his laptop for years now. They're going to finally get a chance
to get in there.
to get into the laptop and see what's going on with Hunter Biden. And he was on, and Burisma, which was an energy company in Ukraine that he was on the board of trustees, a board of directors. And at least the Republican stance is, well, what does Hunter Biden know anything about energy? Why is he on this board of directors of a Ukrainian energy company. He knows nothing about Ukraine. He knows nothing about politics, and he knows nothing about energy. Why is he there?
So it makes him look very suspicious.
Very suspicious, right. Now, maybe, who knows? They're going to investigate the withdrawal from Afghanistan. They're going to politicize that withdrawal. It's already been politicized a lot.
It's like giving the opposite party so much ammo.
Correct, correct. They are going to investigate why the FBI, went and into Mar-a-Lago and took Trump's documents. The FBI says he didn't take Trump's documents. We took American documents that Trump stole. It depends what side of the aisle you're on. They're going to probably at least probably look to try to impeach Joe Biden at some point in the next 2 years as payback for what the Democrats did to Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, has already introduced legislation to impeach Joe Biden.
So the conversation is already started.
Yes. Another possible 2 impeachments could be Merrick Garland, who is investigating Donald Trump, and Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas of the Department of Homeland Security, who's being blamed for what's happening at the border. Expect a lot of gridlock, a lot of political investigation. Joe Biden said today, if the Republicans take control of Congress, he has a special veto pen. So whatever they pass is going to be vetoed anyway. So expect, if this is what happens, expect gridlock for 2 years and lots of partisan investigations by the Republicans. As a matter of fact, if there's a Supreme Court nominee, expect if the Republicans take control of the Senate, expect the head of the Republican caucus, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, to block any hearings on nominating a Supreme Court justice, like what he did with Obama.
So we've
Expect
seen
that
it
to
before.
happen. We've seen it before.
Yeah, he'll do it again.
He will do it again. So that's what we could expect. A lot more misery for 2 more years.
Oh, goodness. Sounds like so many headlines in one schmooze.
Yes, a lot more misery for 2 more years. That's what I'm expecting. By the way, former Congressman Romano Mazzoli, Kentucky Democrat, he died. You know what he was famous for? He died on November 1st at his home in Louisville at 90 years old. You know what he was famous for?
No.
The last major immigration overhaul.
Oh, wow.
Which was in 1986, 36 years ago. It was called the Simpson-Mazzoli Act. It gave amnesty to anybody who was here prior to 1982. It gave amnesty to the agricultural workers, and in return, it made it at that point unlawful civilly, not criminally, unlawful civilly for U.S. workers to hire undocumented aliens. They thought that would solve the undocumented alien issue once and for all. We'll give everybody amnesty, and we're going to start giving out fines to U.S. businesses who hire undocumented aliens. But what happened ultimately was they gave out amnesty to everybody, but they never. It was a hollow law because it was never enforced against businesses. All right, businesses got away with hiring undocumented aliens for the next 36 years, undocumented people for the next 36 years, filling jobs that Americans didn't want, fueling the United States economy with cheap labor, making lots and lots of people rich.
At minimum wage.
At minimum wage. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the immigrants who were getting rich.
No.
Right.
It's not usually the immigrants that are getting rich.
So it didn't really work out the way that Mazzoli thought it would work out. Ronald Reagan famously said when he signed the law in 1986 that it's going to go far to improve the lives of a class of individuals who now hide in the shadows. And that's true, because the people who got amnesty ultimately became U.S. citizens and green cards and U.S. citizenship, and ultimately many of them made very great successes of themselves. What it didn't do which is what they thought it would do. What it didn't do was stop undocumented immigrants from coming, because they thought that if we fine U.S. businesses, then U.S. businesses are not going to want to get fined. But what U.S. business ever gets fined? Never.
Right.
Never happens. And this is good news for people from Ethiopia. The Department of Homeland Security has designated Ethiopia for temporary protected status. That means if you are here and you are Ethiopian and you are here as of October 20th, 2022, you can apply for temporary protected status, which provides work permission, a promise not to deport you, social security number, travel permission. And usually what happens with TPS is once you get it, it never goes away.
Yep.
They keep renewing it indefinitely. It's not a green card. It's temporary protected status. It's the first time Ethiopia was designated. It's because of the ongoing armed conflict, environmental disaster going on in Ethiopia at the moment. And you saw Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. He bought Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with that? You're a social media maven.
I mean, he already has so much power. He can do anything with
No,
it.
do you think Twitter's going to be saved by Elon Musk?
I mean, I don't think Twitter needs to be saved right now.
You don't think it needs to be saved?
No, it's...
Well, according to the stock market, it did, because they weren't making any money.
I mean, that is one of the least, used social media platforms these days, I would think.
It wasn't making any money from advertising.
Oh, yeah. No, I could see that.
Yeah, and, by the way, advertising has caused so much misery on social media because the advertisers target individual people. Whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
He's a risk taker, though, our boy Elon.
I know, but I'm going on about advertising on social media. It causes division.
Yeah.
Because you get to target, advertisers get to target people that they want to target and influence.
Yeah.
And what that ends up doing, this targeted advertising, is the advertiser, whether it's political opinion, a political party, or even just a corporation, they influence you to think a certain way, and you get bombarded with ideas, but you don't see other ideas. You only get ideas that you want, that reinforce what you already think.
It doesn't leave room for organic growth.
No, but it also reinforces what you already think, and it ends up dividing. I don't like
so you're only seeing one thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't like advertising for society on social media. I think it's bad for society. It's made us more divisive than together.
And I mean, these things also select target audiences, like you're mentioning. So you kind of fall into this whole loop of what they want you to see.
Correct. So anyway, Twitter's not making any money doing this. So they're going to charge $8 to anybody who has a blue check mark a month to try to raise money. We'll see how many people pay that. And they are letting go 7,500 employees.
Wow.
670 of which have H-1B work visas.
Oh, wow.
So if you have an H-1B work visa and you are terminated from your job, Twitter has to offer you, this is what the law says, they have to notify immigration that you've been terminated. They have to give you a plane ticket back home, and then you have 60 days to find a new job, file an application to change employers on your H-1B, or go home.
Wow.
After 60 days, you're undocumented. So we're going to have at least 670 H-1B workers are going to go in that 60-day
trial or time.
Time, and that's going to be a problem for them. I don't know. Hopefully, they'll be able. 60-day grace period. So hopefully, they'll be able to find jobs.
Wow, that's a lot of people, Brad.
Yes, it's a lot of H-1Bs, and sadly.
It wasn't neither you.
Yes, sadly, Nesquik, you did not win the $2 billion Powerball.
I didn't. I can't believe it.
Yes, sadly, you thought you were going to win it.
I did.
Yes.
I always have strong belief in
Yes,
myself.
Nesquik promised me $100,000 if she won. I said, that's it? Just $100,000?
Yeah, Brad.
She goes, I got a lot of people I got to give money to.
Yeah.
$100,000. What are you complaining about?
Right.
I was a little insulted. I thought I would be at least in the $500,000.
I have to take care of my people.
I thought you would give me at least $500,000.
Wow.
Yeah, all right. But I said, you know what? How can I complain about
Billion.
100,000?
Yeah, just hand it to you.
Yeah,
I would hand
but
it to you.
meanwhile, you didn't win, so it didn't matter. But you know who won? A person in out in Los Angeles won $2.04 million.
Wow.
And if they take it on a lump sum, I read it's $997 million in lump sum, or $2 billion over 30 years.
Which one would you take?
I'm going to take the $997 million in a lump sum because I couldn't spend that money anyway. And I would always be scared. I'm like, well, what if the check gets lost in the mail?
Oh, my
You know, the
goodness.
lottery goes bankrupt. I would, just give me my money. It's $997 million.
Right, I'll
Come
take
on.
a win is a win.
Yeah, a win is a win, right? I would take the lump sum. And what's also interesting is California, where the guy won. It was Joe. By the way, if you ever bought a lottery ticket at Joe's Service Center in Alameda, Altadena, California, which is somewhere in LA, you could be a millionaire. But by the way, you know what I know? It also is interesting about the lottery. California is the best state to win the lottery.
Why is that?
Because California doesn't charge
taxes.
state tax to lottery winners.
Wow.
New York State charges state tax.
Wow.
So on $997 million, your tax rate, you're at the highest tax rate. It's 24% federal taxes you owe. But that's it. If you won the lottery in New York, you're paying 24% plus 10% state and 3.5% city. You're paying a lot more, almost 40%.
All right, so
Much better to
we
win
have
in
to be
California.
strategic about this one, Brad.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some tea.
Let's do it.
We have some tea?
I hope so.
I hope
I
so.
need some tea.
I would like some tea. Chai tea, maybe
Great.
we
Yeah,
have.
chai tea is my favorite.
Yes. What do we have
Absolutely.
here? The butler. What do you have? You have no idea.
Tea that is worth $2.
$2.
Peppermint tea.
Peppermint tea.
Peppermint.
All right.
That
By the way, this is a very inexpensive Tuesday tea. We only get music for 10 seconds. That's all we can afford. We can only afford. There's the music. I thought we could only
Cheers.
afford 10 seconds of tea music. Cheers. So this is good. Very good, Butler. Excellent job. Very good.
Thank you, Jay Rhymes.
So
Yeah, let's get to
let's
the
get to some
juicy
tea here.
stuff.
Yeah. Anna Delvey, also known as Anna Sorokin. We don't even know what her real name
Right.
is, right?
Who is this person?
Right. She was a Russian-born con artist. She defrauded New York socialites, financial institutions out of $275,000 by posing as a German heiress. And she went to jail for several years. There was a Netflix show made about her, and she has now been released from jail. She's facing deportation and removal. And why would she be facing deportation and removal? Because if you are convicted of a fraud and the loss to the victims is more than $10,000, that makes you an aggravated felon.
Oh, wow.
So she is. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen her notice to appear, but I presume she's being charged as an aggravated felon, and she's living in New York City while her removal hearing is ongoing. I guess she made bail for immigration.
Wow.
I assume that they would be filing some sort of convention against torture claim for her, that if she went back to Russia, she would be tortured somehow, because that's your only relief available if you are an aggravated felon. But meanwhile, while she's waiting deportation, she's making money. Yeah.
Insane.
She has a publicist, and she is going to be having dinners in her home. And
Interviews.
yes, and it is the plans is an email obtained from Delvey's publicist that appears to be soliciting table settings, table decor, alcohol, items for gifting, and other donations from food brands. She wants all these companies to give it to her for free Each dinner is going to have 10 to 12 VIP attendees, including well-known founders, influencers, media people, celebrity talent.
Wow.
And they're all going to sit around the dinner table of this fraudster
Commit a crime and be viral.
and talk.
Wow. Yeah. Dinner series in her living room.
Commit a crime and be viral. That would be a good name for the show. Right. It's
Convicted and viral.
Yeah, it's called Salon Series. It's going to be once a month. Every installment focusing on different conversation topics.
Are you tuning in?
I don't know. She lives in a 5th floor walk-up in the East Village that her lawyer found last minute after being informed she would be released from custody. And she is renting the apartment for $4,250 a month.
I mean, and if you ask me, which no one has, she's still living the dream.
Yeah. If you asked me, I don't know who her immigration lawyer is.
Where are they?
What are they? I don't know what they're doing. Who is their immigration lawyer? Doesn't say. I don't know who's representing her.
Oh. We'll have to look that up. So she calls Bernstein.
She should, but she didn't. Meanwhile, did you watch the marathon? Did you go to the marathon? Did you
No,
run in the
I
marathon?
didn't.
Any one of those three?
No.
No, and no.
I tuned into the aftermath on social media.
Okay, so if you went to the marathon, you would have seen Sharon Lokedi win the women's elite race in the New York City Marathon debut. She's originally from Kenya. Excuse me. But now goes to the University of Kansas. She won by 7 seconds over Lona Salpatir, a Kenyan Israeli runner.
Wow.
Yes. And Gibralsi. This is just a one name.
Right.
And I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Was the 22 world champion, finished 3rd. Evan Shabay won the men's competition. Also a Kenyan. Kenyans know how to run.
Yeah. No, they do.
They know how to run.
For sure.
Yes. Shabay's victory came 6 months after he won the Boston Marathon, which
so
was
they're
his
just
first world.
Going and going.
Yes. If you went to the marathon, you would have seen actor Ashton Kutcher run by you.
Yeah.
He made his marathon debut, and he did it in 3 hours and 54 minutes.
They go for 26 miles, Brad.
3 hours and 54 minutes.
26 miles.
I can't even sit down for 3 hours and 54 minutes without getting, antsy. I can't imagine
or
running.
Distracted.
I can't imagine running for 3 hours
For
and 54
3
minutes.
hours?
Yeah.
No, I'm there for moral support at the next marathon.
Well, that's what I say. When everyone says, yeah, the guy ran the marathon in 2 hours and 23 minutes. I can't even sit for 2 hours and 23 minutes, let alone run for 2 hours and 23 minutes. You would have seen Chelsea Clinton run by as well.
Ah.
She did it not as fast as Ashton, 4 hours and 20 minutes. And New York Giants former running back Tiki Barber, not in the best shape as he used to be.
5 hours.
5 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Sounds more like my time.
Right.
I think
He was there, though.
Yeah, he did it, but he probably walked a few miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had to.
And Chris Evans, also known as Captain America, People's Magazine's sexiest man alive.
He sure is.
Yeah. And the unveiling was on the Stephen Colbert Show with help from John Oliver and my buddy, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And a bit that aired on the show, Oliver sat in the show's audience as Colbert announced the winner from 2 finalists, Oliver and Evans, who Colbert called an incandescent supernova of hotness. What do you think? Is that your type?
Agree.
You agree?
Yes.
Is he a supernova of hotness?
Man is smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
Yeah. Yeah, like this tea isn't smoking, but he's smoking hot.
That's a pretty good body right there, Captain America, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what though? If I was going to be Captain America,
what?
I would be in the gym and I would look like that too.
I mean, it comes with the job description.
Yes, if they told me, Brad, you're going to be Captain America, I'd be like, sorry, there's been no Brad show for 5 years while I get into shape.
I feel like you could do it in less time. I
think I would need about 5 years.
First 2 years is just to build the stamina.
Yeah, exactly. And he succeeds fellow Marvel alum he was Ant-Guy or Ant-Man, Paul. What was it? Ant-Man Paul Rudd, right? Was that?
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Right, so Paul Rudd.
Sounds right.
It's all the Marvel superheroes are the sexiest men alive these days.
That they are. Even in like the quirkiest way. Like I've always found him to be like so quirky because he's on other series where
Paul
you don't
Rudd?
take him seriously.
Yeah. But he's sexy or no?
I would say so
Yeah,
in his
he's
own
sexy,
way.
but he's not Chris Evans.
No, he is not
He
Chris
is
Evans.
not Chris
but
Evans.
he's good to be in the running. I
Okay.
allow him to be in the running.
All right, so that is our tea, and in this TikTok time, I'm going to answer questions about whether a person who entered the United States uninspected can adjust their status, tourist visas, and visiting the United States with an Italian passport. Let's watch. If you entered the country without inspection, you can't adjust your status in the United States except under very limited circumstances, if you're 245I or parole in place if someone in the military or former military is a close family member. But generally, you can't adjust your status entering without inspection, even if you filed for asylum. But I'll tell you what you can do. What you can do is if you filed for asylum and have not received your interview yet, you can apply for advanced parole based on the asylum application, travel to a third country, not the country where you're claiming asylum from, but to a third country, re-enter the United States after a short trip abroad, be inspected now because you're inspected on the advanced parole, and now you're eligible to adjust your status based on marriage to a U.S. citizen. Good luck. The best way to prove that you don't intend to live in the United States is you have a green card and you're giving it back. So you could always give your green card back and get a visitor's visa. They'll be happy to take your green card back and give you a tourist visa. Good luck. It is misrepresentation to come on a tourist visa and do anything within the first 90 days that indicates that you intend to stay and adjust your status. That includes getting married, which you're entitled to do, and leave, which you're entitled to do, and then returning and then filing an adjustment within 30 days. You have to wait at least 90 days from your entry on a tourist visa to do anything that would indicate you intend to adjust. Capiche? If you have an Italian passport, your friend can go online and apply for an ESTA using that Italian passport. And it usually comes within 24 to 48 hours of applying online. Buy your plane ticket and let him come for 90 days, or her. All right, you got questions, I've got your answers. Let's do it. It's meat and potatoes time.
Yeah, that's what they're here for, Brad.
That's what they're here for.
Yep.
If we can press the next button to go to the next thing.
Right. Where? Getting your answers to immigration questions.
There we go. I hear the music. There we go. Very fast on the button. Very, very fast today. Let's go to Don in Port Arthur, Texas. Don.
Hey, how's it going there, Brad?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I got a real complex question for you.
Uh-oh. Glad you were the first. I'm glad you were the first because if you were 14th or 15th call, my brain would have been frozen by then. All right, so what do you got?
Okay, I got a fiance who lives in Africa,
and
I'm trying to get over here to the United States.
Okay.
But she also has a niece. She's raised her since she was like 4 years old. So you really consider her as her mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she wants to come also.
Okay.
So
how old is the niece?
She's 14 years old.
Okay. So, and where is the mother and where's the father?
The mother and father lives in Ghana. They're also in Africa.
Okay. All right. So you have two choices on what to do. Your fiance can adopt your niece, the niece in Africa. If she does an adoption before the child is 16, and she can prove that the child lived in her home for 2 years, and she had legal guardianship of the child for 2 years, then by law, as far as immigration is concerned, that's her child. And then when you file for her, you can also separately file for her child as a step-parent or as a fiance, as a child coming with her mother on a fiance visa. That's option one. Option two is if the parents are not in this child's life and you are so inclined, you can do an orphan petition. You could be the one who adopts the child, and you could bring the child over to the United States as an orphan, and that's a whole other process, and do an adoption of that child in the United States and become her father and ultimately get that child a green card and citizenship. There's two ways to do it, but it's going to be done through an adoption process because there's no niece filing. You can't file for a niece. So you got to make the child either your fiance's legal child or your legal child, one or the other, and then you can do things. Probably the easier one is let her do the adoption of this child, and then you can bring them both.
Oh, okay. So you really can't just bring him over as a guardian.
No.
Would, instead of an adoption,
no. You would have to,
as a guardian.
No, you have to do you have to do a guardianship. You have to show two things. You have to show that you have legal guardianship for 2 years and the adoption, and it was all before 16.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it.
I think so.
Then, Brad.
Yep. All right.
That's all
right. Good luck.
You, man.
Okay. All right. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was complex, but I thought he was going to blow my mind with something. Uncle Brad, right? All right. Let's see. Let's go to Colleen in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Colleen.
Hey, Brad.
Hi. How are you?
I'm okay. I recently learned that my green card interview has been waived since June of this year.
Good.
But I didn't get any. I learned through Emma. I didn't get any letter or anything from them to send my medical or anything.
Well, how do you know it's been waived?
Emma told me.
I'm sorry?
I contacted Emma. I did an inquiry through Emma.
Oh, the software program on USCIS?
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually they'll get to you and they'll ask you for whatever documents you're missing. Just hang in there, okay? I don't have an answer. Okay.
All right. Then.
Thank you. Yeah. When you say I asked Emma, Emma, who's that? Emma's the it's like Siri on the USCIS website. Emma, Siri.
She helpful?
Yeah, or Alexa
on
Amazon.
Amazon.
It's all the same person.
Is it?
I think so. Emma, Alexa, Siri, they're all the same. Sam in Chicago. Sam.
Hey, Brad, can you hear me?
Yes, I do. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, my wife became documentary qualified. We have a son, but he was born during the process. So how can I...
Are you a citizen or a resident?
Citizen.
Okay, so how long have you been living in the United States?
16 years.
Okay, so that child's a U.S. citizen. So you don't need to include that child or file for that child. What you need to do is bring that child to the U.S. Where's the child right now?
In Africa with the mom.
Where in Africa? Africa's a big continent.
Kenya.
Kenya. Okay, so you got to bring the child to the U.S. Embassy in Kenya, and you have to apply for a certificate of a record of a birth abroad, a CRBA. I've
been trying to communicate with them for about a year with that.
Okay, then you may need help with a lawyer then. But that your child's a citizen, you just got to prove it, and then get the child a passport.
Can the mom go with the documents on the day of the interview?
You can try, but you need a separate appointment for the child.
Yeah, I've been talking to them since January, and they've been telling me to check the website, but there's no interviews till like 2024 or something.
All right, so then you can give us a call if you want. Hold on.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's go to Abby in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hi, Brad.
Abby.
Hearing me?
I said, hi, Abby. How are you?
I'm all right. You're hearing me?
I hear you well.
All right. So I have a B1, B2 visa that I've traveled once to the United States with. On my second travel, I got barred at the airport saying I was denied entry.
Why?
and I should contact. No, they just told me to contact the U.S. Embassy. I contacted the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, Jamaica. They told me that my visa has been revoked and I need to reapply.
Did you sign something at the airport?
I'm
sure you did. No?
What section? Because I went to immigration fine.
If you were found inadmissible at the airport, where were you found inadmissible?
I got it. It was after I was denied entry court. I reached out.
Okay, listen to the words that came out of my mouth. You came to the airport. They said you're not allowed into the United States. So I said, you got found inadmissible at the airport. And you said no. And I'm like, yes, you did. You were turned back at the airport. So you flew in. They said, sorry, you can't come in. You were found inadmissible. Hear me out. Basically, you got deported. You got deported at the airport. Your visa's no good. There's a reason why you got deported. When you are found inadmissible at the airport, they will have you sign a document explaining why you got deported, why you're being found inadmissible. Sometimes people refuse to sign it. They give you an interview and they say, this is your interview, and sign it on the bottom, and it explains why you were found inadmissible, why you were deported. They didn't give you anything?
What happened to me?
What happened?
No, I did not leave Jamaica. So I went to, and the lady did not check me in because she said Border Patrol denied me.
Okay, fine. So then I don't know the answer. So then we would have to do what's called a Customs and Border Patrol Freedom of Information Act request and get a record of what's going on, and then figure it out.
All right. So I emailed the embassy and they reached out back to me confirming that.
You just told me that. You told me.
Yes, but I did an interview with them.
And what was the interview about?
So they told me to reappear in front of a consular officer. What
was the interview about?
To retest
What did they ask you? What did they ask you?
If I was ever arrested in the U.S.
And were you?
No.
Okay, so it's mistaken identity.
Right, that's what I thought.
Okay, and what did they say?
And they had me for 3 hours trying to find information, and they said that my case is technical and I should just wait until I hear back from them.
Okay, so again,
I wanted to know.
So again, we have to request your records and see what they're seeing. We would do a Customs and Border Patrol Freedom of Information Act request. Maybe we would have you fingerprinted and have your fingerprints run through the FBI. Did they take a fingerprint of you?
Yes, they did it.
Okay, and we would reach out to the U.S. Embassy and see what they're seeing.
Okay, sure.
Hold on. I don't have an answer. I don't know why. Got to get to the bottom of it. By the time she got the story out. Got to get to a lot of people here. Esther in Atlanta.
Esther.
Hi,
Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
What's going on?
So I had just a quick question for you, please. I had my interview, the first one in 2018, and then I wasn't approved on the spot, but then later on they sent an RFE, which I didn't receive at all.
What was your interview about?
Marriage-based interview.
Okay.
Green card interview.
All right. So how many times did you go on the interview?
So the second one was in May of this year.
Okay. So what's going on? They don't believe it's a real marriage between you and your husband?
Well, I wouldn't say that because the first RFP was sent to the wrong address. So I didn't receive it until until we made our filings and everything. So I reapplied freshly, and then they gave us a second interview. And for the second interview, the officer didn't tell me nothing. They normally give out like a paper where they'll say your case is under review.
I understand, but you got an RFE. What was the questions in the RFE?
I didn't get to see the RFE at all.
Why didn't you get to see it?
Because it was sent to a wrong address.
And then you've been denied.
Yeah, they closed the first application, so I reapplied.
What is the last thing that happened?
I'm sorry?
What is the last thing that happened?
Okay, so when I went for the second one, they said they would probably, that was in May of this year, and then the officer didn't approve me still on the spot, but they didn't actually issue how the paper stating maybe the case is under review or something. They didn't give me, the officer didn't give me nothing of such. And I'm just wondering, it's going to be 6 months this month.
Sounds like they don't believe you're in a real marriage. What seems to be the issue? You see, I don't know because I'm not there. Okay. I don't know what you did. I don't have a fortune. I'm not a fortune teller. So all I can do is take guesses based on what you told me. All right. Generally, when they don't pass you at the interview, the first thing that pops in anybody's mind is they don't believe this is a real marriage. Okay. But you can give me some clues so I can assist you. What did they ask you? What did they ask you at the interview? And then I know what the issue is.
Okay, the first interview was.
Don't tell me about stop. What happened at the last interview? You're all over the place. What happened at the last interview? What did they ask you?
We got every answer right.
What did they ask you?
Okay, they asked my husband of how the first interview went. He explained everything. They asked me about just some random questions, But
I don't know the answer. Why you're delayed? You don't explain anything to me. Okay. So were they asking you questions about? Is this a real marriage? Were they asking you questions about maybe a divorce you had previously? Were they asking you questions about your financial? What were they asking you? You don't know yourself. Okay. So I think you're going to need to have a consultation, and then we'll get the records and we'll figure it out. But I don't have an answer. I'm not a fortune teller. Hold on. I could try to help the person online, but I can't. You don't know what was asked of you. More information. Miguel and Reno.
Hey, how's it going, bro?
Hi, how are you?
Good. First off, I'd like to say thank you.
My pleasure.
For your advice.
My pleasure.
I got my green card last
great.
year. Yeah.
Congratulations.
And so I do plan on filing for my citizenship in 2 years from now, since I've already been a green card holder for a year. So now I had 2 misdemeanors, one for possession of drug paraphernalia and a DUI. So my question is,
was this before you got your green card or after?
Before.
Okay, and you got waivers for them, or you didn't have to even get waivers for them?
I didn't have to get a waiver or anything.
But you presented that information to immigration.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So your question is what?
So, would I need to get a waiver then, or does it just depend on the immigration officer?
You don't need a waiver. You've already been granted your green card. The Immigration Service determined you didn't need a waiver for your green card. They determined that none of this made you inadmissible. They determined that you were a person of good moral character. So,
all right. So
that's in the past. When you do your citizenship, they're only going to question you from the day you got your green card to the day you go for your citizenship. Do you have good moral character? You don't have any arrests. You have good moral character. You're going to be fine.
Right on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Let's go to Marlon in Atlanta.
Hello.
Hi, Marlon. How are you?
Not bad, brother. First of all, I must commend you for the wonderful work that you're doing around the world, helping millions of people.
My pleasure.
I must commend you on that one.
Thank you, Marlon.
I have a quick question here for you, Brad.
Yes.
I've been a permanent resident for over 3 years, and I have a 9-year-old son in Jamaica.
Got it.
I want to see, if I'm where I could get my son here. Started a new relationship, was married. The other person is deceased. Now deceased due to COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All right. So, but your former spouse never filed for your son?
No.
Okay. So you, as a resident, you're going to file a visa petition for him now. File an I-130.
I've been a permanent resident for over 3 years. Was in a marriage for maybe 6 years. We have a daughter as well.
Okay.
My daughter living with me. Don't even know if I'm yet qualified to file for my citizenship as well.
Unfortunately, no. Your wife passed after you got your green card, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. So then you got to wait till 5 years of you having a green card to file for your citizenship.
Oh.
So they don't give you listen. I wish it didn't happen. It's very sad. If she passed before you got your green card, you would have got through as a widower, and then you would have been able to do it for 3 years. But because it happened after, you got to wait the 5 years. It's a terrible situation.
Actually, when she passed, it was just reached 3 years and 2 months.
So, all right. So that just happened recently then?
Yes, it's been a year since she passed.
All right. So now you're 4 years and 2 months of having a green card.
Yes.
Okay. File the I-130 for your son now. You can file for your citizenship in about 6-7 months. When you're a citizen, you'll upgrade it, and by that time, the I-130 will already be approved. You'll upgrade it at the National Visa Center, and hopefully your son will get here shortly thereafter as a citizen.
Is there a way where I can contact you and have you go through the process?
Absolutely. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to Alicia in Charlotte, North Carolina. Alicia.
Hi, good night.
Hi, how are you?
Brad?
How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Good. Just a few questions. Can my husband file for my 20-year-old daughter back in Jamaica?
When did you get married?
The 12th of July of last year.
So your daughter was probably either 19 or even 20 at that point. Unfortunately, no. The marriage had to happen before your daughter was 18.
Okay. My husband filed for my 14 and my 7-year-old daughter back. Do you know how long that process I-130 normally takes?
Well, pre-COVID, it was 1 year process, start to finish. Are your kids in Jamaica now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jamaica's a disaster country with the U.S. Embassy these days. Could be 2.5 years these days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he filed for expedite the case, and we got it approved.
Oh, great.
With that approved.
So that maybe it'll be faster. You got to keep requesting the expedite. So you got the expedite approved on the I-130. Do the same expedite request at the National Visa Center, and after they documentarily qualify you, and the case gets transferred to Jamaica, do the same expedite request in Jamaica. You got to keep doing it in each of the different government agencies that your case travels through.
Okay, one last question. So my case, my I-130, I'm still waiting my green card. When I'm in Charlotte, my husband called. They say my case is now in Charlotte at the field office. Do you know what's next?
Is that where you live? So that means an interview is coming. They transferred your case. They don't transfer the case to the local office unless they expect to interview you. Excuse me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
So,
so much.
probably
Appreciate it.
very shortly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go to Saddam in Houston, Texas. Saddam.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you. Brad, I have a couple of quick questions. Can a child of a green card holder, is that child protected under Child Protection Act?
What do you mean a child of a green card holder?
Give me
the situation.
I filed for my mom, and hopefully she'll be here in 2 years.
Right.
But so I have a younger brother who's right now 18. So because of the visa wait times and interviews, we fear that he might go over.
Yes. Unfortunately, your filing doesn't protect your brother. If your mother comes to the United States and files before he's 21, potentially could be saved under the Child Status Protection Act, potentially not.
Oh, okay. So if my mother comes in and files for him, and if he's under 21, he would be protected?
For a certain period of time, but not forever.
Oh, I see.
Where is your brother?
He's in Pakistan.
Okay, so they don't have visitors visas to come, right?
Well, they do, but they just deny it because they're like, "Oh, your brother lives in the U.S."
Okay, so they applied and denied. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen. He may be, he may not be, but you got to wait until your mother gets here, and then we'll figure it out. But the day your mother comes to the United States and enters, you can file that I-130 for your brother through your mother.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, awesome.
All right.
And just another quick question on my mom's application is still pending, and on our USCIS end. But I'm hearing, by any chance, do you guys know how long is the wait time on embassies? Because I'm hearing
Pakistan's another disaster country. Disaster.
Right.
It could be 2 years.
Can I get the appointment transferred to a different embassy?
No. No, you can't. And then a lot of times what they do with Pakistan and some other countries that are predominantly Muslim, after you go for the interview, they want to do additional background checks on you, have you fill out another form, and then your case gets lost for another year. It's disaster.
Oh, really?
Disaster.
Wow.
Disaster.
Even for parents who are like older?
Maybe elderly parents they won't do it for.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Got
right.
it. Okay.
But,
Well, thank you so
but
much
that's
for
what's
that.
happening a lot, unfortunately. All right.
Yeah.
All right, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ricardo in Brooklyn.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Ricardo.
I have a question for a friend.
Yes.
He said that he went on an interview maybe 4 years ago. However, they didn't approve it, but he went on a second interview, and they approved the I-130.
Great.
But he said they asked the officer about the I-485, and he said that he wasn't the one who was dealing with it. So he was wondering what's the next step.
Okay, so how long has the I-45 been pending?
I think it's been 4 years.
Wow. And is there anything is this you, Ricardo, or is this your friend?
My friend.
Okay. Is there anything in your friend's history that would prevent him from getting a green card?
No, it wasn't. He didn't have any issue at all.
He's clean as a whistle.
Clean as a whistle.
All right. So then at this point, they're violating your friend's rights. Because if your friend's married to a U.S. citizen, they've already approved the marriage, and the guy's clean as a whistle, there's no reason not to give him a green card other than they forgot about him or they're violating his rights, but they got to make a decision. And the reason they have to make a decision is when you're married to a U.S. citizen, you are an immediate relative, means you're immediately eligible for your green card. And if they're making you wait 4 years for a green card, that's not immediate, that's delay. So at this point, I would be suggesting either filing a mandamus, threatening a mandamus. A mandamus is a lawsuit against the federal government to force them to do their job when they're delaying and violating your rights. That's what needs to happen now.
And knowing that they approve, so the marriage is real, then everything should be good.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to tell him to contact
Tell him
you.
to contact me. Okay, hold on. Let's go to David in Syracuse.
How you doing, Brad?
Hi, David.
So I got married a few months ago, and I wanted to file for my along with the I-130. What do I do with it? She came on a student visa from Jamaica. She got into money issues.
So you're going to file an I-130, an I-485. You're a U.S. citizen, I assume, David, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're going to file an I-485, an I-130, an I-130A, an I-864 affidavit of support, an I-765 for the work permit, and an I-131 for the travel document. And you put that all together in a package, $1,760. You file at Department of Homeland Security. She'll get fingerprinted. Her fingerprints will clear. She'll get a work permit, a travel document, and in 1 year you'll get an interview for a green card. And at that interview, you got to prove you live together, have a financial relationship, and your wife will get a green card.
Okay. Did you hear this part that she overstayed and stuff?
If you're married
did you
to
mention?
I heard, and if you're married to an American citizen, the fact that you overstayed your visa is forgiven.
Okay, so I don't need to file a waiver knowing
No.
that she came on a visa and.
Nope. Just do exactly
Okay,
what I just
appreciate
told you to do.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Let's go to Kay in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Hi, Brad. How you doing
Hi,
today?
how are you?
Good. Hey, Brad, I have a question
Yes.
for a friend of mine. So this friend is a alien, and then he's married to a U.S. citizen, and then he has a daughter. But he filed for his I-130 and I-485, which was the priority date was December 26, 2019, and up to now he hasn't heard anything from the USCIS. He hasn't had any interview from the USCIS.
He's filing.
So he got.
He's filing for his daughter. How old is his daughter?
No, he didn't file for his daughter. He had a U.S. daughter.
File for him.
He had it. Yeah.
Okay. Where is he?
He had it.
Tell me where he is.
No, he's here.
Okay. Did they file an adjustment application?
Yeah, they did file adjustment application.
And they have not heard anything? They didn't get an interview, a work permit, nothing?
Yeah. He has work permit, but he hasn't had any interview.
Since 2019?
So, yeah, since 2019.
All right, so he's the same.
So
he's the same thing as the last caller. He's an immediate relative.
Okay.
He's immediately eligible for a green card. They don't adjudicate his adjustment application in a reasonable amount of time. You file a mandamus, a threat of mandamus. You can call your senator. You can call your congressman. You can call immigration. You can stand on your head. You can juggle balls outside the immigration service. The only thing that ever works is a mandamus.
Okay. So, and then he also has, what's it called? He has issue with his entry because he has been in the U.S. embassy before.
Well, maybe that's why he hasn't gone through.
Okay.
What's the issue with his entry?
Is it
now? Maybe we don't want to do a mandamus.
Yeah, he has a fraudulent on his document. He has been to the U.S. embassy
that's why.
before.
All right. So a couple things.
Okay.
If he committed fraud and misrepresentation, he needs a waiver. Can't get a waiver through a child. So if he filed an adjustment through a son or daughter, it's going to be denied unless he has a spouse or parent who he can get a waiver through.
No, he filed for a spouse, not a son or a daughter.
Didn't you tell me his daughter just filed for him?
No, I was saying that he has a daughter with his wife.
Okay, then I misunderstood. Okay.
Wife.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was the fraud? Did he come on a legal visa to the United States?
No, he's arriving alien.
He's an arriving alien.
And then the fraud was he has been to the embassy before, and then he had
Did he do a 212 waiver as an arriving alien?
No, he hasn't done anything.
Okay, so he's doing everything wrong. Okay. Now that I understand, after how long is this? 3 minutes into the call, he's married to a U.S. citizen. He committed fraud at an embassy somewhere. Then he tried to come into the border, applied for asylum, is an arriving alien. He needs to file a 212 waiver, an adjustment, and perhaps a waiver for fraud, which is probably why he hasn't gotten through yet. I hope he has a good lawyer.
Okay, so
hold on. Let's go to Billa in Caldwell, New Jersey.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
I want to ask you a question. I came in 2015 on a tourist visa with my mother, and I met my husband now. I mean, we got married. They overstayed my visa since then until now, and I got married with my husband. He's a U.S. citizen. In February 2022. And my question, I'm a little bit scared about adjustment of status. Is that going to be a problem for us?
No. The fact that I think I just told that to another caller. The fact that you overstay your visa, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, everything's forgiven. So,
okay, thank you.
So if you worked undocumented or you overstayed your time here,
I never worked undocumented. I didn't work here.
Even if you did, it's forgiven.
Oh, okay, thank you. Another question, please.
Yeah.
We want me and my husband to have an account together, but my passport is expired, and they didn't accept that. So
when you file your adjustment application, make sure you apply for your work permit, which is the I-765. And when you get your work, and you should go apply for a new passport. And so, what country are you from?
Algeria, and they didn't want to accept to renew my passport unless I'm lawful here. That's the problem.
Okay. All right. So just apply for your work permit.
Yes.
And when you get your work permit, you'll get a social security number, and with your work permit and social, you'll be able to open up the bank account.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And that will all be before your interview, so you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to Regina in Rockville.
Hello.
Hi, Regina.
Hi. So I have a question. You mentioned that if you get married to a U.S. citizen, you're automatically forgiven. Are there any special cases where your application is denied?
If you're married to a U.S. citizen, is there a reason why your application would be denied? Yeah.
No, is there a possibility, what scenario will make your application get denied?
They don't believe you're in a real marriage.
Okay.
You lied to the government.
Okay.
You have a criminal record. There's
okay.
lots of reasons.
Oh, okay.
Those are top three.
Okay.
You don't have a good
And,
affidavit of support. He can't support you. You have a communicable disease. I can go on and on.
Right. Okay. And let's say before like we get married, we have to live together, correct?
Well, this is what you need to do. You need to prove it's a bona fide marriage. A bona fide marriage is different than a legal marriage, and that's different than a marriage that you may consider a real marriage. There is real marriage, legal marriage, bona fide marriage. All mean different things. So let me explain.
Okay.
A legal marriage is that you got married, you have a document that says you're married to the man. It's not enough. A real marriage is, I married this man for love. I really like him. He really likes me. He really loves me. But we like to do our own thing. We have a very modern relationship. He works one place, I work somewhere else. He comes and visits, I visit him. But it's a real relationship. We really love each other.
Right.
Well, that's fabulous. But as far as immigration is concerned, that marriage is getting denied. Because the reason why someone who marries a U.S. citizen gets a green card is because they want to keep families together. And if you are not together on a regular basis, then you're not entitled to a green card. So they've come up with a definition of a bona fide marriage. That's what they want to see for you to be able to get your green card. A bona fide marriage is a traditional marriage where a husband and wife live together in the same home. They go to work. They see each other at the end of the day. They kiss each other, get hello at the end of the day. They have dinner. They sit around the kitchen table. They talk about their day. They go to sleep. They wake up the next morning, do the same thing all over again, day after day, week after week, month after month in a traditional marriage. And they want to see that you have a financial relationship. Part of being in a traditional marriage is taking on the debts of your partner. So they want to see that you've opened up a bank account and you put money in the account, your spouse puts money in the account, and you pay your bills together. You live together, you pay your bills together. That to them is bona fide. That's what they want to see.
Right. And also, when he files the affidavit of support, so that way he's responsible for me financially, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So getting an apartment together, something it would not jeopardize the fact that he's sponsoring me and I have an income coming in, like paying the rent, a utility, for like example.
You both have to share in all of the debts of marriage. You both have to share in the rent and the utilities and everything else.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get a chance to get your questions answered online, we have a bunch of people still, but we got to move on, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yes, you could always follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. You could drop me a DM. I'll be happy to answer your question. You could also follow us at Bradshaw Live on Instagram. You don't like 2 hours of our show, but you can handle 30 seconds of our show. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. And also you can follow us on our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. You can leave your questions in the comments. And if you're lucky enough for me to see it, you can get a personalized video from me to you answering your question for the world to see. And Vanessa.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
And later in the show, we're going to visit the Brooklyn Greek Festival held this summer. The annual event is sponsored by the Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Cathedral, which is the oldest Greek Orthodox church in Brooklyn and has a rich immigrant legacy.
And Bradshaw Live spoke to attendees celebrating the New York City Football Club's first ever Major League Soccer championship win and asked them about what they would like to see in U.S. immigration reform. What would you like to see in the USA immigration reform? Squad, let us know in the comments. Right.
Let's see what they would say.
Yeah.
I wonder. Do you wonder too?
I do. I always want to hear what people have to say about immigration reform.
And I like Major League Soccer. By the way, FIFA is coming out now. Are you going to watch FIFA?
I've never been a big soccer person.
You're not a soccer fan.
No. It's like running a marathon.
What?
Running across that field so much.
Well, but soccer's only an hour and a half.
It seems like it goes on forever.
What is the number one change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
I believe, immigrants should have equal rights to like everyone that lives here. Immigrants built this city, built this country, even, helped, create what it is today. And I hope, they just get equal rights as everyone that's here.
Absolutely every single thing about immigration needs to change in this country. We need to open the doors for people to have opportunities. There's plenty of room for growth. There's plenty of room for space and inclusivity for people to be given chances. The immigration reform that I would love to see is a path. Each one of us had a different path to be able to become citizens, and for both of us it was very difficult. And I think it should be easier for people to get the opportunity to become a part of this country.
I would probably like to see the process move faster in terms of the paperwork and the bureaucracy, yeah.
So I am DACA. I definitely want DACA to have their citizenship because that's definitely going to be helpful. Specifically relating back to the pandemic, they weren't much help for the immigrants. So that was something that should be focused on and worked for because they all deserve rights. There's so many people that are paying taxes and they're helping the economically United States, and they weren't able to get much back. So that should be focused on.
I just hope that, they manage to pass like an immigration bill so all the immigrants can actually have access to work and legally and have a comfortable life living in this country without any fears of anything, such as deportation or anything.
All right, are you ready for social media check-in?
Let's do it.
What do we got?
Okay, so first and foremost, if you aren't already a part of our Brad Show VIP squad on Facebook, make sure that you join and ask your questions there because those are the first 5 questions that we have here on Social Media Check-In. So first question comes from Anna Lee Parker, a Brad Squad VIP member. I submitted my green card application on August 20th of 2022. I did my biometrics on September 12th, 2022 for I-485 and my I-765, but not for the I-131. Will I get both my work authorization and advanced parole by December?
Hopefully you will. I can't guarantee that you will, but your work We'll try that again. I said hopefully you will. I can't guarantee you're going to get your travel document and advanced parole by December. It's taking somewhere between 6 to 8 months. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Lawrence Dibble, on another Brad Squad VIP member. As a green card holder with my kids here for over 3 years, can I file for my kids?
Of course you can file for your kids as long as they're unmarried.
April Walker, another Brad Squad VIP member. How long does it take to get DNA test results? My sister did her tests in the States in September. I am waiting to do my test in Jamaica.
About 6 months.
Tammy Gauze, another Brad Squad VIP member, 4-year green card holder. Can I apply for my husband, or do I need to wait until I get citizenship?
File for your husband if he's in another country. When you become a citizen, upgrade it. If he's already here, especially if he's overstayed his visa, just wait on your citizenship and then do the adjustment.
Crystal Perry, Brad Squad VIP member. How long does it take to get an adjustment of status and extension of a visitor's visa?
Those are 2 different things. Extension of a visitor's visa could be months and months and months. Adjustment of status is for your green card. You can't do both at the same time. Adjustment of status is taking over a year.
Frankie Franks on Facebook. Someone was previously married in 1997. In her interview, she is not sure what her husband said, but she was forced to sign a document stating she paid him. She was told to leave the country and return in 5 years, but never did. She has a U.S. citizen child. Can she still get a green card? Legal entry was 25 years ago.
If you made an admission to a business marriage after 1986, you are barred from entering the United States for the rest of your life. You're barred from getting a green card for the rest of your life, unless you can prove what you signed was false.
Winsome Thomas on YouTube. My boyfriend is in the military and I am undocumented. We got married on October 21st. However, he lives on the base in Texas, but we have an apartment together. Will that be an issue if I file my AOS?
Yes, you have to live together. Figure out how to do it.
Orlando on YouTube. I got a 10-year green card via marriage to a U.S. citizen. We are now separated. I want to travel.
There you go.
I want to travel to my country. Will I have problems getting back in the U.S.?
What? I didn't hear the first part.
Sorry. So I got a 10-year green card via marriage to a U.S. citizen. We are now separated.
You're fine to travel. He's fine to travel.
Okay, and last one from Nesreen on YouTube. I overstayed my tourist visa because I met my U.S. citizen husband in 2015, and we got married in 2022. Is it going to be a problem to file AOS?
No, being an overstay, married to a U.S. citizen, it's forgiven. All right, the Brooklyn Greek Festival was held in June, Nesquik, and the fabulous one and only Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. He went to the annual event sponsored by the Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Cathedral, and he went to celebrate Greek history and Greek immigrant life here in the United States of America. Let's watch.
What's up, Brad Squad? It's your boy Jonathan Elias here at the Greek Festival in Brooklyn. Now, this annual event is sponsored by St. Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Cathedral of Brooklyn. This festival celebrates the neighborhood's Greek heritage, and of course, it's going to include a lot of dancing, music, and great food. So let's go check it out. All right, how are you doing today?
We're doing great. We're here at the Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Festival on Skimmerhorn Street. We're out here all week long, and we are having another amazing day.
Now, let us know your name and what do you do here?
So I'm Father Evagoras Konstantinides. I am the Dean of the Cathedral here, and I oversee the entire ministry panel of the church. I work at our parochial school. I teach religion there.
So now, why is it important to celebrate the Greek tradition and heritage here in Brooklyn?
So this church has actually been here since 1913. It's been a steadfast presence in Brooklyn. We were the first Greek Orthodox church in Brooklyn, and for the past 40 years, we've been doing this festival all week long. We go from Monday through Sunday, 11 hours a day. We're open, we're feeding the public, we're feeding the neighborhood, and it's a way for us as Greeks to offer philoxenia, offer hospitality, and share our love of our culture with everybody else.
Yes, I love that. Now, what does it mean to be Greek?
To serve those around us, to care for those around us. And that's exactly what this church has been doing for over 100 years in this community. We've been an active part of the community, opening our doors, welcoming the people, and a festival is just one example of how we share our pride, our love of our Greek heritage with the entire world.
I love that. I love that. Well, what can we expect at the festival?
So this week we have tons of great stuff going on. Food every day during the week from 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. On the weekends we have pastries, lukumadas, the honey balls. Friday, Saturday we're here till midnight. Sunday we're doing brunch. We have kids activities in the afternoon. We're bringing a magician, we're bringing games, we're bringing sports. Thursday night we're having a live bouzouki night. So we're gonna have live musicians, we're gonna have special different food tastings, and then on Friday night and Saturday night, the highlight of our program is when our children from our community and from our school will put on a Greek dance performance. We'll have a DJ here, we'll be partying all night long and having a great time.
I love it. I love it. That sounds so lit. That sounds amazing.
Is.
What's your immigration story?
I'm actually a second generation. I was born here in the country, but my grandparents came over. All of them came from Greece and Cyprus. And, you know, they're the story of many people just like in this community. People from Greece moved to New York and started migrating to Brooklyn. And originally, they were walking across the Manhattan Bridge to go to church because the only churches were in the city where all of the immigrants were. And then in 1916, they were like, this is crazy. we're going to build our own church. So they built their own church, and we have it right here since 1916. It was the first church in Brooklyn. Our story here at St. Constantine and Helen is the immigration story of many other people. We are now second and third generations in the church that are running the church, that have the responsibilities. Our festival is chaired by young people, by third generation young people who are here, who are born. And it's a beautiful thing to watch this generation, to watch the next generation from our school come and volunteer. You know, we are Greek Americans. We are proud of our Greek heritage, but we are also proud Americans. And it's our job as Greek Americans to share that with every other Haitian American and Syrian American and Jewish American and all of the communities, because that's what New York is, right? It is everybody all together.
All right, so now the father said that we had to speak to you. Let us know your name and what are you doing here?
My name is Maria Tampakis, and I'm one of the chairmen of this festival. We grew up in this community, and the three chairmen, myself, Gregory, and Chris, we came to this community. Our parents went to school here. I was raised in this community. I was raised in this church, in this festival. And so as it happens naturally, we kick the old people out, and the young people start to take over and tell everybody what to do. This is a year-long prep and festival for it. So we have a group of women that help us leading up to the actual event, cooking everything. And we do all of that planning and prep. We make everything in-house. All of the proceeds get donated back to the church and the school that's a part of it. And so it's just our way of giving back to this community that keeps on giving to us.
Yeah, I love that. So now, why is it so important to represent the Greek heritage?
The Greeks in America are so, it means the world to us. Like, we, representing who we are and what we're about is everything. And just even from conversations where we talk with our hands and we're super loud, like, we scream it from the rooftops because we're so proud to be Greek. And when you grow up in Brooklyn, which is a tight-knit Greek community, there's so many churches, you grow up with competitions in basketball and who's got a better festival and who's got a better soccer team. Like, it's just, we're always involved, and we want everybody to know that we're here and we're loud and we're excited.
I love it. So now, what does it mean for you to be Greek?
It means everything. I cook for a living. I'm the executive chef at the Four Seasons New York downtown, and so for
like
me,
we said, boss.
So for me, being cooking is the only thing that I know, and it's what I love. And so even in the food that I do at the hotel, it's very Mediterranean. It's very healthy, very earth-focused, those vegetables that are great, the great olive oil, because when you have great produce, you don't need a lot. And that's what we love to showcase here.
So, everybody on the show knows that I love to eat, okay?
So let's go. Come on,
let's go. All right, so now we have the feast, y'all. This is what I've been waiting for. All right, so what do we have here?
All right, so this platter, we got some different gyros. We have the traditional lamb gyro, and this is chicken gyro with French fries and the tzatziki yogurt sauce. Here we have a spanakopita, which is a spinach and cheese pie wrapped in phyllo dough. Here, these are tiropitas, which are cheese triangles with a feta cheese mixture inside. Of course, we have our traditional Greek salad with no lettuce. We got onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, some peppers, and topped with feta cheese. And then to finish the meal, we have our specialty, our Greek baklava. And I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite because my wife makes this. It's walnuts and different nuts and butter and syrup and phyllo, and it's all covered together. And this is our traditional baklava.
Okay, so we're gonna have to get to eating now. Okay,
excellent. Enjoy your meal. Kaliorex.
As my mouth is drooling, I'm gonna say goodbye to y'all, but I'm gonna try some of this Greek salad first. It's so hot out, but this looks so refreshing. And it is. So, guys, thank you. I'm gonna be here all day and all week. Back to the studio, y'all.
So unfortunately, we were supposed to air that the week I got sick, unfortunately.
Yeah, June.
Yeah, in June. That was the week I got sick, unfortunately. But it looked like it was a lot of fun anyway. Baklava is my favorite dessert.
And you mentioned you like Greek salads.
Yes, I like Greek salad.
I'm not a big feta person, but...
Right, I was telling Vanessa, I said, oh, I like Greek salad. And I love baklava. Wow.
Perfect, but we aired it.
Yes. All right. Okay. Ready for speed round?
Are you ready for speed rounds?
If I'm not, I'll never will be. Let's do it. All right, start your engines.
The race cars are
ready to get out of the starting line. There we go.
Okay. Okay, in the U.S., 2 years. Oop. Okay, let's get the timer running. In the U.S., 2 years and 8 months as an LPR.
Nope.
When can I
Nope.
apply?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, wow. Already celebrating. Yeah, we need that timer spinning because Brad, let's just look. We're going to celebrate already. In the U.S., 2 years and 8 months as an LPR. When can I apply for citizenship?
2 years, 9 months, and 3 days.
While switching to VAWA, should I file for a work permit and travel document again?
When filing for VAWA, you should file a work permit and travel document with an adjustment.
Can someone in the U.S. on a C1D visa marry a citizen and get a green card?
They can do a provisional waiver, go home and come back, but not adjust.
How long after biometrics for VAWA to get a work permit?
About 4 to 6 months.
What is the request for initial evidence for I-485?
That means you didn't submit all the right documents to get it filed.
I have an I-539. Can I adjust my status through my citizen spouse?
Yes.
Can I remarry while waiting for a green card?
Yeah.
Can I go to an interview without my spouse who petitioned for my daughter?
Yeah.
Can I hire you to get a marriage-based green card for my wife in Nigeria?
Of course you can. But there was like one question that was just so vague, like, can I get divorced if I'm waiting on my green card? Well,
Can I remarry
I
while waiting for my green card?
I don't know. How'd you get your green card? You got it through a job sponsorship? I don't know how you got your green card, so it depends. What? I
Right.
said, yeah, but I mean, yeah.
It depends.
I mean, the answer is yes. You could always get divorced whenever you want. Is it going to affect your green card? I don't know anything about your case.
Right.
All right, we just got blown. That was disaster. Disaster. What was the last 2 questions?
There was only one more.
Oh.
You got through 9 of them. There was only the 10th one.
Oh, what was the 10th?
23 months have passed since my VAWA, and I have prima facie. How much longer to wait?
Another 12 to 18 months. All right.
Let's soothe this
Damn.
feeling with some comments of the
That's
day.
a damn. Comments of the day.
Oh, we had it. Okay.
All right.
Our first comment of the day comes from Cynthia Wallace saying, "Welcome back, Uncle Brad, Yo-Yo, Vanessa, and the whole crew."
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Cynthia. Welcome back to you as well.
Yeah, we're so glad you're tuning
Yeah.
in. Okay, our next comment of the day.
There's your drum roll.
Yeah. From Anu Chandra saying, Anna Sorkin needs an immigration lawyer, at least 2 to 3 bankruptcy attorneys, a few accountants, a couple of criminal attorneys, and an eviction attorney too.
She needs a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad she didn't call me then.
That's where that wrench
seems
should be
like a
going.
lot. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with her. We don't know if we want her case here. Okay, and our last comment of the day comes from Patricia Matthews saying, if they want to see this nation grow, have a sweeping amnesty across this nation so immigrants can pay taxes like an American and build and strengthen this society.
Well, that would be a pretty smart thing, but who says the people in Washington are smart?
Right.
But that is actually what needs to happen. Because, I mean, we're going to say goodbye in a second. If you look at inflation right now, they say the number one driver of inflation is wage increases. Why are wages increasing so much? Because there's not enough people in the labor force. There's more demand than supply for labor. So when there's more demand than supply, wages go up, which is partially causing inflation. The other part is not being able to get goods, logistics for goods. But so you want to solve the inflation problem really fast? Get more workers into the United States and even out supply and demand.
Yep. That sounds like a plan.
All right. We will see you next. Put it on your calendar, by the way.
Yeah, everyone.
Does everyone have a calendar here? I hope so.
It's on my calendar.
Put it on your calendar. Next Thursday, November 17th. We will see you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.